Good morning, zoners. Welcome back to the channel, my special people. Um, Woke up one day this week, I think it was Tuesday, to the most amazing news. Jason Kerr, our very own Ginger Ninja, had posted a screenshot of the YouTube channel, basically telling me that I'd hit 100 subscribers. The post read, "Congratulations, Tony. I know you're all about quality over quantity, but this goes to show the quality of your channel. Well done, mate." Thanks ever so much for that, Jason. I've had some lovely messages. Let's see, Dave Oliver, "I'm so happy with this. Congratulations, Tony. Fully deserved." Guy, "Awesome achievement, Tony. I'm bloody well chuffed for you." I'm chuffed for myself, mate. Lee Barber, "Remember, Tony, just keep uploading." I intend to keep uploading, mate. Chris posted a little gif, Mary Poppins' little happy dance from Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, it made me smile. Rick, "Old AF, congratulations, Tony, mate. Very well deserved. Here's to the next 100. I'm still basking in the glory of this 100, so I'm not even going to think about the next 100 yet." Jason, "Well done, mate. Told you you're worrying about nothing." Obviously referring to the fact that I always seem to think the videos aren't good enough and this, that and the other, so it's good to know that they obviously are. Callie, "Well done, Hun. Super proud of you and how far you've come. Here's to the next 100 subs." Ain't even thought that far ahead yet. And Scott, you posted on Instagram. So a massive shout out today for one of my favourite YouTubers in the community, and that is Tony Retro Movie Zone. Congratulations on reaching 100 subscribers, mate. It's very well deserved. If you haven't already, please check out Tony's channel and subscribe to him. His content is awesome. Thank you so much for that, Scott. Very much appreciated. And to all of you, obviously this channel would not exist without you guys. It is only you guys that keep me going with this. I still go back, and yes, I'm going to go back on that old story again to my sort of humble beginnings. I remember, I don't think it was any more than 2 years ago when I got the idea of starting up a tiny website where I could just chat about movies and stuff like that. The website has gone a little bit stagnant of late. I need to start populating that with some serious content. But that is basically where it all started. I was then advised to start a Facebook group, which I did, which is flourishing, I'm happy to say. It is absolutely amazing. And then somebody came up with the idea of starting a YouTube channel, which I was absolutely against. And if you look at my very first video, you'll see why I was against it, because it's pretty appalling. But now, a year, maybe 18 months on, 100 and something videos, 100 subscribers. Life couldn't be better. I'm really pleased with it. Again, thank you so much to all of you that have subscribed, that have watched my videos, that have commented on them, to everyone that takes part in the Facebook group with all the posts and all that sort of thing. Again, I'll say that I've looked at various different Facebook groups, and none of them have got what we've got. We have got a very warm, welcoming community, an active community. There are at least 5 or 6 posts go up every single day. Obviously, there's the hardcore of people that pretty much post every day. That's sort of Jason, Guy, Chris, various others whose names escape me at the moment. I do apologise. But again, without you guys, none of that would exist. So a great big thank you to one and all. Very much appreciated. It is you guys that keep me going with this. Without you lot, I'd have knocked this on the head a long time ago. And I do intend to keep it going. I am looking forward to the next 100, but as per usual, I'm in no hurry. When it happens, it happens. It'll be great, but no panic on that one. So yeah, brilliant news to wake up to. I think it crept up to 102 subscribers, and then somewhere along the line I lost one. So whether that was to do with that minor rant that I had about PCness last week, whether PCness. Sorry. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was that and somebody's just listened to it and thought, oh, God, twat. But I ain't bothered about that. Like I said last week, I would rather be true to myself and say, without being offensive, what's on my mind. And if I lose the odd subscriber, then so be it. But I did actually, talking of that, I watched the video with, let me get this right, it was Dave Oliver and Mike, the real Fifth Beatle. That rant at the end was absolutely brilliant, fellas. More like that. I can see why you lost, was it 3 subscribers during the course of that one? I can sort of see why, but I absolutely don't agree with it. Completely on your side with all of that. I kind of wished I'd have been there because I'd have been chipping in with that one, most definitely. But yeah, well done for saying what you said. I was really, really impressed with that. So yeah, right, what's been going on within the group this week? Let's just have a quick look. Chris, your Westerns thread is doing really, really nicely. You were talking about High Noon last week, Gary Cooper, and it containing subliminals about hating Hollywood. I've kind of been looking into this because I was really, really curious about it. I've not found anything to do with subliminals, so if you could let me know where you actually found that out, I'd be really curious about that. But I have read that it basically represents the Cold War, Gary Cooper obviously being the Americans and the villains being the Russians. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I've read about it. I'm flattered that you watch the videos in bed. Not quite sure how to take that, but yeah, that's brilliant. I watched yours in bed last week actually because I always have a little bit of a nap on a Sunday afternoon with the old pensioner that I am. And when I wake up, I tend to catch up with people's videos and comments on the video that I posted. So I was watching your video in bed. Quite an experience, I have to say. Love you too, mate. You're going to be catching up with Oscar contenders for Best Picture. This would be a good one to do. I've actually made a note of all of these, and I would love to see them all before the Oscars and see whether I'm right with my prediction of what's going to be Best Picture. The movies you mentioned, the Banshees of Inisherin, it's an Irish movie. Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Elvis, which I have seen, this is the only one on this list that I have actually seen. Elvis, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, superb movie. All Quiet on the Western Front, one that I definitely want to watch. Apparently it's the first anti-war movie made, or anti-First World War movie made in Germany. So I'm looking forward to having a look at that. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've been avoiding this one like the plague because I've heard it's something to do with multiverses, and I don't really get on with multiverses. They confuse me. But I will have a look. Avatar: The Way of Water. Haven't seen the first one, so it is very unlikely that I will take in the sequel. I've heard mixed reviews. Most people seem to love it. There are a few people out there that hate it, but you can't deny that it is literally ripping the box office apart. So I'd be curious to maybe watch it, but only after I've seen the original. The Fabelmans. Now this is Steven Spielberg's most personal film for quite a while, which is the story of his childhood and how he got into filmmaking. Really desperately want to see that. I was hoping to get it watched this morning, but I'm running a little behind today, but I will be watching that one. Tar, read a lot about this one. Cate Blanchett plays a conductor. The conductor of an orchestra who abuses her power. It's supposed to be an amazing performance. Looking forward to watching that one. Top Gun Maverick. I've actually got that on 4K. I'm off work, not next week, the week after, so I will be taking that one in and telling you what I think of that one. Triangle of Sadness. Seen the trailers, love the look of it. It's very sort of alternative cinema kind of thing, but yeah, I really want to watch that. And finally, Women Talking. Not really. I get enough of that at work. No, no, I will take a look at it if I come across it. I've not actually heard of it, but I will be taking a look at that. So yeah, I've made a note of all those, Chris, and I will be taking them all in so we can compare notes when it comes to Oscar time. Just moving my notes up a bit. I've got them all in front of me again. Rick, would love to see you do a video when you visit Midco Toys, whenever that's going to be. You did one for that video store in, was it Mickleover or Littleover? Or Ripley or Hatton, I can't remember. Somewhere over Derby way anyway. And it was a cracking little video. Maybe you could do one from Midco when you come over. And your Banana Splits review, absolutely loved it. And it went something like this. Okay, so every now and then a movie comes along that nobody asked for, but we got it anyway. A movie so dreadful it's actually great, and the Banana Splits is no exception. It's camp, overacted and flawed as fuck, but it's tongue-in-cheek and definitely doesn't take itself seriously. The practical effects in the death scenes are great, the concept is ludicrous, but it's fun. To say this movie doesn't know which direction it's going is an understatement, but it keeps you engaged enough to remain entertaining. It's not a game changer, and it damn sure won't win any awards. Not in the Oscars then. But take your brain out of the box for an hour and a half and enjoy the sheer madness that awaits. I can't wait to watch this. I'm so looking forward to it. I know it's a couple of years old, but it's yet another one that never did get round to. But I will be taking that one in very, very shortly. Dave Lowe, loving the Doormat Diaries, mate. Ebola syndrome. I've been reading some really bizarre reviews of this. They're basically calling it tasteless, vulgar, crass, disgusting, perfect. So I almost certainly will be investing in a copy of that at some point. I'd be very curious to hear what you think of it. I know you've seen it before, but I gather it was quite a while ago. So yeah, keep the Doormat Diaries going, mate. I'm loving those. Jason Kerr, our very own Ginger Ninja, enjoyed the basket case reviews. A trilogy of movies that I never got round to watching. I can see the box now, the Palace video box. I believe they were gold plastic, if I remember right. iDiverse. Enjoyed those reviews, mate. I definitely do now want to see them because I missed out on those. And also thoroughly enjoyed your Mad Heidi 60-second review. You've beaten me to it on that one. I was going to watch that one last night, but we ended up watching Megan, which I'll be coming on to when I do my first review video, which will be I'll probably do it the week after next actually while I'm off, because I've got quite a list of movies that I have actually watched that I feel the need to talk about. So I'll be talking about all of that sort of Megan and hopefully Mad Heidi if I get a chance to watch it. Let's see, that post that I put on of the VHS rental store in Wakefield, what an awesome looking place that is. For those of you that didn't seen it, it's literally a VHS rental store, and there is a secret door that leads to a cocktail bar playing 80s music, all that kind of thing. Absolutely amazing looking place. Would anything like that work in Burton? I don't know. We did have one, obviously, but in the 80s. Talking of which, Jason, where did you find that picture? Wow. I know you can't see it very well, but you can certainly see the shop that I used to work in. I'd be curious to know where you got that. That really brought back some memories. What else have I got here? Darren Nichols. He's not posted very often, but he posted one this week which I really loved. It was some pictures from Smokey and the Bandit, and it basically read, "Gonna tell my kids that Smokey and the Bandit was the original Fast and Furious." Who needs Vin Diesel when you got Burt Reynolds? Smokey and the Bandit was one of the first major, what I would class, road movies. I absolutely love it. I've seen it countless times. I bought it on 4K a few weeks ago, and I will be watching that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, we knew how to do road movies and road movie comedies in the 70s. They're just not the same now. They're just not. When you've got movies like, let me go through these, Convoy, what a film. Cannonball Run, 1 and 2. Just great road movies. We knew how to do them back then. Fast and Furious is all right, but it's just... too glossy. Yeah, not really me. No, not me. I've seen the first one, and I did actually buy the box set um, because I wanted to catch up with them, but I've not got round to watching any others yet. Here's Sequelophobia strikes again. Um, so yeah, road movies we knew how to do them back then. But yeah, Smokey and the Bandit to me as well, Darren. It is the original Fast and Furious, and they did it so much better. I think anyway. Um, Callie, you were talking about giving up on Hunya Geeky's showing. Please don't do that. I enjoy them. I know you look into sort of analytics a lot to find out when people are sort of turning your videos off and how much they watch and this, that, and the other. I personally don't do that because I'm frightened of what I'll find out. But no, please don't give up on it. I enjoy it. I really enjoyed the movie soundtrack one that you did about 10 days ago. Absolutely love that. I think you mentioned The Professionals. I think that was one of Guy's. The Equalizer, that was one of Guy's. I didn't realise Stuart Copeland featured on the soundtrack of that. The Professionals I have seen a long time ago. I've got the box set, but I've not watched it yet. The Equalizer I've not seen, but I have actually got hold of season 1, so I will be taking a look at that. Let's see. And you also mentioned some some movie soundtracks. Guy, you mentioned Dirty Harry, Lalo Schifrin. I don't want to make you jealous, dude. I've already shown this off before a while ago, but check this out. The Best of Dirty Harry. I think it's called The Best. Yeah, The Enforcer, Magnum Force, and Dirty Harry. And I believe it's got tracks from Sudden Impact. The only one it's not got on here, if I remember right, is the Deadpool, because that came too late for this. I remember picking this up from 58 Dean Street Records in London when I went down there on a trip. God, this would have been early 80s. And I used to play it regularly, used to love it. So yeah, that's a nice little soundtrack, so I totally get that one. What else was mentioned? Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh, let's do the Time Warp again. Cracking stuff. Star Wars doesn't get any better than that. My personal favourites, TV, I will go with the Dukes of Hazzard. Love the theme to that. I think it was Waylon Jennings sang it. The Avengers, classic 60s. I mean, it just doesn't get any more 60s than the Avengers. And the Tomorrow People, what a funky little tune that was for a kids programme. And movies, I would go anything by John Williams. Star Wars, Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., anything like that. John Williams is an absolute genius, and I do love his soundtrack for Somewhere in Time, starring Christopher Reeve, Christopher Plummer, and Jane Seymour. What a gorgeous soundtrack that was. And if we're talking soundtracks with songs, I would say obviously Saturday Night Fever. Oh, I know I've mentioned it 1,000 times. Grease, obviously. And if we're going a little bit left field, I would say the soundtrack to Friday the 13th. I do love it. All those strings, very psycho-ish. I used to have a vinyl soundtrack of the best of the Friday the 13th movies. I thought I'd still got it. Whether it's ended up in the attic or not, I don't know, but I will try and dig it out. But yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. So don't give up on them, Callie. You've got your audience. To be honest, I'm pretty much the same. I tend to get sort of between 50 and 60 views, and that's fine for me. That is honestly fine for me. And if it was lower than that, it really wouldn't bother me, because I know I've got, sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 people who do watch the videos regularly, enjoy them, and don't give up, honestly. It'll happen. It'll come, I promise you. I put a post on of Dead Man's Shoes, starring Paddy Considine. Oh, that is one of the most chilling movies I've ever watched. I've posted this probably 2 or 3 times over the last year or so, and it always gets quite a reaction. Because obviously Paddy Considine is a local lad. So yeah, you obviously like that one. Very quickly now, what have I got here? Now then, my top 10 movies that I'm looking forward to in 2023. I'll read these out in no particular order. These are the movies that I'm looking forward to that I've heard of so far, let's put it that way. First one, Cocaine Bear. What can you not like about a movie called Cocaine Bear? About let's see, a drug deal that's gone wrong. The cocaine is dumped out of a plane and eaten by a bear who goes on a murderous cocaine-fueled rampage. How can you not like the sound of that? Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Can't wait. I know Harrison Ford is like 80 years old plus or whatever, but I'm fairly sure he can still do it. I believe this is going to be his last, and it has also been said that nobody else will be playing Indiana Jones in any other movies. So we'll see whether they stick to that. Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. Really enjoyed the first one, especially the end, which I won't give away because there are people out there who won't have seen it. But I really enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife, so yes, I am looking forward to seeing the second one. Knock at the Cabin. This is M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. I saw the trailer a couple of days ago. Looks really good. I know that's the idea of a trailer, but I do really want to see that one. Evil Dead Rise. I really want to see it, but I get the feeling I'm going to have issues with that one. The trailer itself, I believe, is R-rated, and it shows. So it gave me a fairly good idea of what to expect, but if you've seen any of the other Evil Dead movies, you will know exactly what to expect. So yeah, looking forward to that one, but I shall keep the remote control handy with that one. Ridley Scott's Napoleon. I love a good historical drama. Presumably this is going to be based around Napoleon's life. It's going to be a huge overblown thing, I'm fairly sure of it. Ridley Scott doesn't do things by halves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. The Meg 2, The Trench. Can't wait for this. There's not a lot of love for the original. There's again a hardcore of people that thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to the Meg 2. Jason Statham is back for it. It's being directed by Ben Wheatley. Obviously, I've said before that I have issues with Ben Wheatley's earlier movies. Specifically, I would say something like Kill List, which I thought was just vile. It's regarded as a modern horror classic, but I had real problems with the violence in that. So whether he's going to transfer that particular directing style to the Meg 2 remains to be seen, but I cannot wait to see what he does with it. Wonka. Now this is the remake of the remake, or is it a prequel? I don't know. It stars Timothée Chalamet, whatever they call him. And he, I believe, is playing Willy Wonka. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a look at that, see what they've done with it. Killers of the Flower Moon. Now this is Scorsese's latest. Can't not watch a Scorsese film. I believe it's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. To do with a series of unsolved murders in the Native American community many years ago. Very curious about that one ever since I first read about it a couple of years ago, so looking forward to that. Oppenheimer. I believe the inventor of the atomic bomb, I think, something like that. But yeah, I do want to watch that. Notice there are no Marvel movies in there, and no mention of Barbie. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but it's just a movie. As soon as I heard about it, I can't remember being as underwhelmed as I was by Barbie. Maybe I should take a look at the trailer and it would change my mind, but I very much doubt that. Right, what else have I got on here? I promised to do very quickly 5 movies that I would love to see released on Blu-ray. And this is them. Let's see now. First one. Oh, here we go. The Giant Spider Invasion. I remember seeing this around about 1975 or 6 at the cinema. It was on a double bill with a movie called Carquake, which starred David Carradine. This is actually one of the worst movies ever made. It is really atrocious. But for some reason, I found it quite alarming the first time I saw it. But you're going back nearly 50 years. But the special effects are very questionable on this one. I actually did a review on the website of this movie. So I might post that a little bit later on. But that's one I would love to see on Blu-ray. It is available on Blu-ray in the US, but obviously it's not multi-region. So I would love to see a UK release of that one. Another spider-based movie, Kiss of the Tarantula. I saw this a long, long time ago about a young lady who keeps tarantulas in her house and sets them loose on the people that are bullying her or who do her wrong. I remember this being really, really good at the time. Again, frightening, but only for the reason that people are crawling with spiders, and if you don't like spiders, you're going to find that frightening. The World is Full of Married Men. This is the only Jackie Collins X-rated movie that hasn't had a Blu-ray release. We've got The Stud and the Bitch that came out on Blu-ray last year. I really, really want to see this one. The print of this is not the best. There's a sort of a sound quality problem for about 3/4 of it, so it needs a little bit of love and attention. But I would love to see this one. It's got a cracking disco soundtrack. Next one, Breaking Glass. Spoken about this one before. This is Hazel O'Connor and Phil Daniels. A sort of an expose of the 80s punk electro music scene. In the early 80s, it wasn't the nicest place to be, but this is screaming out for a Blu-ray release. It's been remastered, and this is the uncut British version. The Americans trimmed the ending because they found it too depressing. So they took it upon themselves to cut the ending. So that's another one. And the final one, Ken Russell's controversial movie The Devils, which I saw a long, long time ago. I haven't watched it recently. It is as violent as hell. There are so many images on this that you absolutely would not get away with now. But this is screaming out for a Blu-ray release. It really is. There are reasons why it can't happen as yet, but hopefully in the near future. Well, fingers crossed anyway. But that one is definitely worth a watch if you've never seen it. Right, very quickly whiz through these. I'm going at 90 miles an hour again. I said I wasn't going to do this again. There's a new Michael J. Fox documentary coming very soon. It's called Still, a Michael J. Fox movie. It got a standing ovation at Sundance, and it's basically a documentary based on his life, his early life, his movie life, obviously his diagnosis with Parkinson's. It's getting positive reviews across the board, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I believe it's going to be on Netflix, but I could be wrong. It might be Apple, but we shall see. Talking of Michael J. Fox, I put a trailer on. It was a fan-made thing, it turns out, of Back to the Future Part 5. Guy, you're very passionate about this one, aren't you? I knew when I posted this, posting something like that of a classic movie that cannot possibly be bettered, it's a bit like poking a bear with a stick, and when it's not looking, kicking it in the balls. That's the anger it seems to get into people. I wouldn't mind a look to see what they do with it, but I wouldn't hold out much hope that it's going to be anything close to the original, but we shall see if it happens. And finally, Forgotten Movies. The juggernaut that is Forgotten Movies rolls on. I'm not going to read out the ones that have been posted because you'll already know that, but I'll tell you my choices because I haven't had a chance to post them this week. Nicolas Cage, I would go with Wild at Heart. David Lynch at his weird, wonderful, violent best. Love that film. Morgan Freeman, I went with Driving Miss Daisy, which I think a couple of people went with. I just really enjoyed it. Just a really, really nice, gentle movie. Helena Bonham Carter, Morris, a Merchant Ivory production. Really, really good movie. Michael Caine, I went with The Island from 1980. It's a Peter Benchley movie, well, based on a Peter Benchley book who wrote Jaws. It's a lot more violent, to do with an island populated by pirates. Really, really good. I thought it was excellent. Russell Crowe, I've gone with LA Confidential, because along with Guy Pearce, a couple of absolutely barnstorming performances in a brilliant movie. Let's see, Bruce Willis. For some reason I went with Death Wish. I love the original Charles Bronson movie, but for some reason I thought this wasn't bad. I started watching it, and when I got to the end of it, I thought that could have been so much worse, but it wasn't bad. Johnny Depp, I've gone with From Hell, which is a different take, a slightly different take on the Jack the Ripper tale from about 1991 or two. Really, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Great visuals. So, right, I believe that is it. We are just coming up to 30 minutes. I believe I've covered everything. I'm just scrolling down now just to see whether I've missed anything. Thanks ever so much for joining me, folks. And once again, thank you so much for getting me up to 100 subscribers. I'm now on 101 as of about 30 minutes ago. Like I say, here's to the next 100, but I'm in no hurry. So thanks ever so much for joining me, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and also like, share, and subscribe, and all that stuff. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Have a brilliant week, folks, and I will be back with you again at the same time next week. And we're only about a week away, or a week or two away, from the first Saturday review video, which is when I'll review all the movies that I've watched over the last month. Until then, thanks again, take care, and I will see you all again next weekend. Take care. Ta-da.